Hey all, 3 days out from surgery, so it is getting pretty real. But thankfully, I can say I've actually been feeling pretty well, better than I had been in weeks prior to these, so I'm grateful for that. But it's down to the wire here, and I wanted to just let you know that thus so far, I've been very honest about things and I've been very open. I haven't been putting on any kind of facade or act. With me, what you see is what you get, and that will continue. Things could go one way or the other here. God could honor my prayer and the prayers of so many others that are praying for me, and that I just get healed and this is it, and yay, and everyone's happy, especially me. Or things could get ugly here pretty quick. I won't know for a little while until after the surgery, but that's a possibility. But as I've been honest thus so far about the way I feel and the way I'm approaching things and my demeanor, I'm going to continue to be honest about those things. I've never been one to wear my emotions on my sleeve or just go blabbing out what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling. But when asked, I've always been very honest, and I will continue to be honest. So if I'm not feeling great or I'm stressed out, and that's the way it is, and that's the way that it is. And along those lines, I won't feel the need to justify anything God does. I don't have to defend him. God doesn't need me to do that. That's not my role. So if he decides to take me the long way around and things are hard and difficult, then so be it. My role is just to trust him, to do the things that I'm supposed to do, pray, continue to worship him no matter what. And the rest is really up to him. So there's that. But I will say that I'm experiencing something that's pretty amazing, something I've read about so many times and heard sermons on, and people referencing, but I've never really experienced for myself. And that is the peace that surpasses all understanding. It's something I've always understood intellectually, but I've never really experienced for myself. But now, in this extreme circumstance, I find myself with that peace, this peace I've read about so many times and wanted to experience for myself, and now I am, and it's absolutely amazing. And I liken it to when the children of Israel are walking through the Red Sea with walls of water on both sides, and they're aware of the imminent danger of the water crashing in on them at any moment. But God has provided a barrier so they can walk through in safety. Now, the Egyptians, obviously, they weren't so lucky, and that's kind of another story, but that's the visual I get when I think about this piece. I'm aware of the fear and the doubt and the anxiety and the stress and the anger. I'm aware of those things, and they could cave in on me at any moment. And I could experience those things and get emotional and cry and whine and complain and why me. But I'm not, because God has placed a barrier there, keeping those things out. And to experience it in real time, it's absolutely amazing. And I'm so grateful to God for it. So the other thing where my mind is going to places it's never really gone before, which is what extreme circumstances will do. It's one thing when you're having financial problems, or day after day you have to see that coworker who's making your work days miserable and you don't want to go. But it's another thing when it's your health. It's just a whole other level. But it also takes you to places spiritually where you would never go. And God can do things in your life that he hadn't done before. It's just the nature of these types of things. So I find myself thinking about some of the songs and prayers that I've sang and I pray throughout the years. If you really think about it, a lot of praise and worship songs come down to really only one thing. You have God and you have everything else. There's God and there's me. There's God and money, God and everything. Okay, so it's always God above everything else. And we sing lyrics like "You're all I want" and "You're all I need" and "You're more than enough" and "Nothing compares to you" and "Nothing in this world could ever take your place," and on and on and on. And so the question I've been thinking about is, did I mean it? I've spent years singing some iteration of these lines, and now I'm asking myself, did I really mean those things? You know, Lord, the financial problems, okay. The problems with coworkers, okay. This difficulty, that difficulty, okay, okay. But that's too much. That's my line. My health, the death of my child, the death of my spouse, whatever it is, that's too much, Lord. That's not fair. That's my line. And of course, in situations like these, we have to look to our ultimate example, and that's Jesus. What did Jesus do? Dad, I spent years being called a bastard, illegitimate, being made fun of and ridiculed. I spent years in discomfort walking and walking and walking and teaching and preaching your kingdom, laying hands on people and healing people, doing all of this service to the point of exhaustion. I'll even get beaten. But that thing right there, that cross, that's my line. That's too much. It's not fair. No, he didn't say that. As the Bible says, Jesus was obedient even to the point of death on a cross. And as he is our ultimate example, as he gave his life for me, for you, for everyone, how could I give any less? There was no line with Jesus. There was no, that's not fair, God. He was completely obedient. So the prayers that he prayed, he meant those things. So the prayers that I prayed, the songs that I've sang, did I really mean those things? You can always speculate what you'll do in a situation, but until you're faced with it, it's just speculation, and you'll never know. So as you sing your songs in church, as you're driving along the freeway and kind of maybe out of habit singing praise and worship, do you really mean those things, or is it just easy because maybe things aren't terrible right now? Because if you mean those things and you pray those prayers, God, use me in a mighty way, he might say, okay, how about cancer? How about the death of your son, your daughter, your spouse, or whatever it is you hold most near and dear to your heart? Because he just may do that. So as we all continue in our walks, let's do our best to mean those things, mean these songs, mean these prayers, that God, you're more than enough. Because when it comes down to it, he has to be. And he proved to us that he was willing to honor those things himself, to be obedient to his Father. So just a few things there. I hope you all are doing well, and I hope to have a good report soon. Again, thank you for all your prayers, your support, everything, and I'll see you soon.